These are devils right here.
Dinesh D'Souza. If you aren't Dinesh D'Souza, I would just recommend scrolling along. It's gonna get ugly pretty quickly, and you may want to protect your peace this Tuesday. Okay, Dinesh, now that it's just the two of us, I've heard that you are a little, not just bothered, but bewildered by the anti-Indian hate that you and other Indian Maga people are suddenly experiencing all over social media, all coming from members of your own party, seemingly. It's interesting, no? Vivek and Kash got raked over the coals for trying to wish people happy Diwali, and Vivek made the mistake of posting a photo of his children in Halloween costumes. Even I cringed at these. Pause to read. I mean, children aren't even off limits anymore.
Get out of my... These people are sick. Just threw up in my mouth. See now, why are they talking about children like this? These are devils right here. Just threw up in my mouth, a bunch of middle fingers. Get out of my country. You're still an Indian, my friend. No amount of blank is going to make the white folks see you as one of them. But hey, dedication deserves a slow clap. So you pretended to be an American for Halloween. You're, as an American, costume is a failure. F you, go study. What in the world? So I guess this is the stereotypes about Indian and students and all of that. I like your American costume. They celebrate Halloween in India. Your Indian kids aren't the flex you seem to think they are. And when you use them like this, they're no longer off limits. Oh, wow. Look at this. These are verified accounts. You still haven't apologized for last Christmas when you said white Americans were unworthy of good jobs and that you wanted to replace us with 300 million Indians. I'm sure he never said that. You must come to Christ, Vivek. God made you in his image too. I will pray for this beautiful family and children, by the way. Wow, this is embarrassing. These are the people he was exalting.
This is what somebody said to you that you felt the need.
Okay, you're Indian. You made nothing. You are nothing and devoid of creation. Your ilk has been a race of slaves for hundreds of years, and even after being given a chance, you prove what worth you are. So now they're bringing up Indian subjugation. Now that Black people are no longer in the forefront, now they're attacking Indians and saying that the Indians were slaves. I also saw some posts about how they throw feces in the streets and all of this other stuff, just wildness. And so Dinesh says, in a career spanning 40 years, I have never encountered this type of rhetoric. The right never used to talk like this. Yes, they did, motherfucker, because they were talking about Black people you pretended not to hear. Because deep inside your programmed heart, you believe that Black people deserved that type of vitriol. But now that it's being spewed at you, now all of a sudden you're like, we don't talk like that. Yes, you have. You just haven't heard it and you pretended to ignore it. This is unbelievable. This is how, when I tell you that America is a racist country, racism is so deeply embedded into our culture that people don't even see. Like, I saw the Latino woman that was pushed down onto the ground by ICE. She was like, I never would have thought this would have happened. I thought police officers were our friends. Bourgeois, you haven't been seeing what Black people have been saying. This is why I'm so glad that we're staying home, because now they're starting to push down white people and white-looking Latinos and indigenous Latinos. So it's like no one is safe, but they thought that they were as long as Black people were being targeted.
To respond to. You seem confused. Additionally, there seem to be a ton of people online celebrating the fact that JD looks like he's 5 minutes away from tossing Usha to the side for, I don't know, grease lightning over here. It is a dark and interesting time, Dinesh, but what I'm confused about is why you're confused. Especially about the anti-Indian hate. Isn't this your son-in-law?
Oh, wait. Dinesh's son-in-law said what now? Dinesh's son-in-law said, tells Zohar Mamdani, go back to the third world. You see, they always think it's going to be somebody else.
Coming after Zoran for eating with his hands? A practice that over 1 billion of us engage in on a regular basis. Is this also not your daughter?
Wait, Indian people eat with their hands too? I didn't know that. Have I seen Indian people eat? Maybe I just never noticed it before, because I used to watch those YouTube videos of the people making the big meals for the kids. I don't remember if I've seen them eating with their hands, but Let's see what this one says here. This is a good video. Thank you for all of this. Oh, this is Danielle D'Souza. I did not grow up eating rice with my hands and have always used a fork. I was born in America. I'm a Christian MAGA patriot. My father's extended family lives in India and they are also Christian and they use forks too. Thank you for your attention to this matter. She's responding to someone who says, your wife is South Indian. She grew up eating rice with her hands. You're literally marrying into it. Ooh, this is gross. There's some things going on, so I just want you to stop right now and check, make sure that you're still subscribed. And if you were never subscribed, this is your wake-up call or your call to action. Make sure that you're subscribed.
That she's better than the rest of us because she's Christian and therefore eats with a fork. I didn't realize that was an Indian Christian practice. News to me, but again, I'd love to see that chick eat a sandwich. So I'm sorry, weren't you also at one point Ann Coulter, the scarecrow that said this?
I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian.
To your boy Vivek's face? This all seems pretty par for the course, no? Now it's interesting because when I get on here and wish people happy Diwali or happy Halloween, I don't get this type of a reaction.
Hold on, let's see. This is too good. This is too juicy. Oh, it's blurry though. I can't see it. Girl, you can't see it. All right, let's keep going.
I wonder what that means about the people that we interact with. But let's maybe work through why your party suddenly feels so bold about being so aggressively racist publicly.
Oh, you all keep saying naan. And I keep thinking of that big fluffy bread, crispy on one side, soft on the other. I haven't had naan in so long. Oh, I could just use a nice piece just slapping me across either side of my face until I just crunch into it. I don't know what's wrong with me. All right, let's keep going forward.
Feeling totally comfortable to have their names and faces attached to things like this. Dinesh, weren't you the guy that wrote a book back in 1995 called The End of... And wasn't the goal of that book to absolve white people of the horrors they were responsible for in terms of slavery, segregation, and overarching policy?
You see that? You see that? So he wrote a book called The End of Racism because he wanted to absolve white people. Let's see what this says right here. In 1995, D'Souza published The End of Racism, in which he claimed that exaggerated claims of racism are holding back progress among African Americans in the United States. He defended the Southern slave owners and said that the American slave was treated like property, which is to say, pretty well. Oh my goodness, this guy. Wow, listen, not everybody treats their quote unquote property well. These psychopaths were harming and maiming human beings because they had a sick, twisted, demented fetish on the inside for harm. They were sociopaths, psychopathic, masochistic, and sadistic, just cretins.
And wasn't the goal of that book to absolve white people of the horrors they were responsible for in terms of slavery, segregation, and overarching racist policy? Wasn't the whole point that black people were just dramatic, holding themselves back? Right. And then several pieces of anti-black drivel later, didn't you become the OG tweeter, in fact?
Hold on. I need to go back and read this. There we go. Oh, I wasn't expecting to see this. Hold the hell up. Do you see this? Before she puts the square up, Dinesh wrote the N-word with the ER in 2017 on Twitter. Seth Rogen said, if you're offended by someone saying cracker, it's a good indicator that you're a mother effing crack. Wow. And then Dinesh comes out and says, do you feel the same way about the word Nigger? Yo, this dude is sick.
In fact, I remember tweets about Obama.
Hold on, there's so much to catch. You can take the boy out of the ghetto. Watch this vulgar man show his stuff while America cowers in embarrassment. This was when, in a relatable, cute moment, Barack Obama was seen with a selfie stick taking a selfie. And you see the hypocrisy of these people. Wow.
About Rosa Parks?
Hold on, what did he say about Rosa Parks? Hold on, you're going fast. All right, overrated Democrats department. Rosa Parks wouldn't sit in the back of the bus. That's all she did. So what's the big fuss? Wow. For those of you who may be watching my channel and don't know who Rosa Parks was, Rosa Parks was a woman who during the time of segregation had the courage to put her life on the line by not sitting in the segregated section of the bus. The way that she was treated, because she was a girl who came out, a younger woman who was browner complected and younger, and she wasn't the perfect, not martyr, but she wasn't the perfect spearheader, so to speak, like socially. So they used Rosa Parks' story because Rosa Parks was older, she was a seamstress, she was lighter complected, and she was somebody that she felt that the nation could be more sympathetic towards. Because you know how they have all of these different things that they're saying against browner skin, younger Black women who are not living a perfect life, and they use their background as a way to discredit the movement. Rosa Parks was a lighter skinned woman, a little bit older. She was a seamstress. And so she was the one that became the face of the movement for boycotting the buses in Montgomery, which ended bus segregation. And this man has the nerve to say that she was overrated and then to say that she was a Democrat. Back in those days, before the switch happened, before white flight, the Republican Party was the more liberal party and the Democratic Party was the more conservative party. So I'm not really sure why he was calling Rosa Parks a Democrat, because back in those days, they were most likely Republican because of the values that were espoused back then. This is really bizarre.
It seems like you thought that being a dark-skinned token for white supremacy, being willing to say the publicly vile anti-Black things that your white counterparts didn't feel comfortable attaching their names to, but were more than happy to applaud you from the sidelines. It seems like you thought that would gain you entry and a permanent membership at the country club, but you're finding out in real time that you are and have always been the help.
Ooh.
I will say, Dinesh, I've been wanting to have this conversation with you since I was 13. So I guess now is as good a time as any. The bile and anti-Black vitriol that white Republicans were more than happy to pay you to spew is coming back to bite you in the ass. You created this environment. I would say people like you, but it really is you specifically. There was an air of civility before you. Not anymore. Welcome to a world you ushered in. And now the youngest generation of white supremacists is treating you guys like an infection. These are their antibodies attacking you. They are trying to purge any person of color from this party, literally disinfecting with bleach. Bro, you are nothing more than a brown man with a smile as crooked as his morals. And thanks to the monsters that you've created, no amount of Fair and Lovely will save you now. So good luck with social media, man. It feels like it's gonna be a wild ride from here on out.
Wow. Tipsy recipe. She went in on him and he deserved every single moment of it.